Les voy a esperar con pausa. Voy. Vamos a cantar, vamos a cantar. Ok. ¿Lo aceptas, por favor? Vamos a cantar, a ver. Hola. ¿Cómo se prende? Hey, everyone, please come back the meeting, please. In this moment, we are aboard other team. Para que se vayan animando a entrar, vamos a cantarles una canción, por favor, porque ya queremos que se vengan. Bueno.
Thank you.
Soy vecina de este mundo por un rato. Y hoy coincide que también tú estás aquí.
Estás aquí.
Coincidencias tan extrañas de la vida. Tantos siglos, tantos mundos, tanto espacio.
Tanto espacio.
Y coincidir.
Y coincidir.
Si la vida se sostiene por instantes. Cántala en francés.
No.
Y por instantes. Y un instante es el momento de existir. Si tu vida es otro instante, no comprendo.
No comprendo.
Tantos siglos, tantos mundos, tanto espacio.
Tanto espacio.
Y coincidir. Ok.
Rose, Rose, bom dia.
Ok. Bueno, aquí tenemos en línea ya algunos compañeros de Brasil. In the meeting, we are partners from Brazil. He listen in English only. The interpreters are read more later. Okay. In this moment, we are present of information from CI in the different moments.
We will now discuss those people are dead. Our friends from the CE, Rogério Pantoja. He was a coach from the trade unions. He was member of the IC. Rita, por favor. Para.
Sí. Sí. Solamente una cosa. Momento. ¿Dónde está la otra? Sí. Bueno. The Union of Brazil, Trade Union of Brazil, the Central Trade Union of Brazil, and with this important organization, all the organizations of the World Social Forum, and in this year we lost some colleagues, some activists, some people. They are very important for us. This is one of the causes to we are not here in great delegation here, because it was a great impact for us when they died. And I'm talking about, Rogério Pantoja. Rogério Pantoja as a high dirigente, leadership of the food. We lost him in the process. We were organizing ourselves to come here. We lost Nalu Faria. Nalu was high leadership of the World Marshal of Women. And Angela was another high dirigent of the cult. Then we'd like to make this homage to them, and to say it's very hard for us to not have them with us now, but they are alive. Viva Rogério Pantoja, viva Ângela, viva Nalu Faria.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Rogério Pantoja, presente. Ângela, presente. Nalu Faria, presente.
Agora e sempre. Muito obrigada, Rita, pelas palavras. Agora que estão as pessoas conectadas de todo o Brasil, nós abraçamos a eles, neste momento tão duro, para nós todos no CI, neste momento tão complicado, tão complexo para nós.
It is a moment very complicated for us because those people was with us in the IC, all social forum 20 years now that they are with us. And it's very difficult to lose a lot of friends, those ones, but also we lose Abdelkader. He was also a member of the IC from Morocco. We lose Pierre Baudet. He died last year. He was also, those people are the foundation of the IC and all the World Social Forum and the thinking of the World Social Forum. This is life, must continue for them and must continue for the next generation. I think it's very important. And we close this because it's too triste.
Bom, neste momento, vou chamar a Carminda. Eu estou falando um pouquinho portunhol para honrar a nossos companheiros do Brasil. Carminda, por favor, você está aqui presente?
Não
está?
Está na reunião jornalista.
Ok. Então, não. A primeira pessoa que vai falar aqui, vai apresentar na história um pouquinho do CI, é Pierre. Não?
Okay.
Tampouco Pierre?
Okay. We
Okay.
do another. Okay. To finish, sorry for this confusion, because we have a little problem. The problem is about the agenda. The agenda is too much for 2 days, and we cannot do everything. And what we do today, tomorrow we cannot do it, because tomorrow there is the movement, the movement, Nepalese movement, could not be here. I don't know why, but we touched that some of the group will be today here, but they are not here. And tomorrow also we want to listen to them. And this is why we will change a little bit the agenda. We will continue today to discuss about the Tunis consensus, the history of the WSF, not the WSF, but the International Council. We have 2 points on that. The first point is the discussion we have in Tunis. We have some recommendation in Tunis. Something is done, but other things not done. Second point is the point of the discussion or recommendation of the task of the IC in the Casablanca. And those 2 points, there was Carminda who will speak about this, the Tunis recommendation, and we will get Pierre to speak about the Casablanca tasks of the member of the IC and how the IC function and everything. I know that there is a lot of people here who don't know how we work, how is the council work and everything. Now it's a moment to explain to the people who are not member of the IC how is the functionality, what we do, what our task to do. And this and to begin with this discussion, I think in my proposition to begin with Pierre about the task of the IC to see Ah oui, aussi? Okay. So on est d'accord? We are all right? All right for everybody? Pierre? Okay, Carminda.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So, as Hamuda just said, we had a meeting in Tunis in December 2022. That was actually a very rich meeting, and we arrived to some consensus actually about a number of things. And I think I'm just going to read it so everyone can know what it is. It's like a few points, but I think it's really useful for all of you to know what it is about. So, the IC affirm. Okay, so this is a Google DeepL translation, so maybe the translation is not so good. So, bear with me. Okay, so the IC confirms that the WSF is an open space that must be perpetuated. This is the first point. The IC welcomes the initiative of a World Social Assembly. The name was still to be confirmed. It recognizes that this is an autonomous process supported in particular by those who propose the assembly. The IC recognizes the importance of integrating greater diversity into its membership. The IC recognizes the need to organize according to feminist, anti-racist, decolonial, nature-friendly, anti-capitalist, and anti-militarist principles. The IC recognizes the importance of gathering analysis of territorial dynamics and global and regional geopolitical trends, and of moving towards an updated understanding of capitalism. The IC expresses the need to evaluate and clarify the impact of the WSF in each territory where it took place. This is why tomorrow we're going to be listening very carefully to Nepalese perspective. The IC relaunches or creates the following commissions and calls for the participation of its members in them. So the following commissions: methodology, strategy and monitoring, communications, support for facilitating groups of the WSF events in the territories where they're going to be taken place, expansion, and finance. The IC recognizes the importance of strengthening and updating WSF communications, particularly in order to give greater visibility to struggles. The IC recognizes the importance of setting up a mechanism to mobilize new resources, particularly financial resources. And the last one, but not the least, the IC affirms a consensus on the overall WSF process, which includes the WSF event so this event that just finished, as well as the autonomous process of the World Social Assembly and the thematic, regional, continental, and local forums. So the family of the World Social Forum. So shall I read the tasks that came out of Casablanca 2013?
You can have a discussion or explanation, and after we go to the
just to say the tasks are kind of linked to what I just said, and there are fewer. I don't know if it would be maybe better to put it in the table, and I think maybe it will be good to have it. Okay. So this is the following list of tasks that was agreed in a discussion of Casablanca, and we have to say that it was kind of short discussion, shorter than Tunis, but it's interesting though. And also, let me just say that it's really, for me, I'm really grateful we are doing this, because there is an issue always in the IC, is that we don't follow up with our own decisions and with our own process. So I think it's really a nice thing that we're taking in account what we already decided. Okay, so following tasks were agreed in the discussion in Casablanca IC meeting in December 2013. Discuss the tasks. Discuss the political and geopolitical context in order to contextualize the WSF process. You can see that there are links, indeed, with Tunis. Support methodological discussion on how to organize events, super processes, and initiatives within this process, so that the WSF. Facilitate dialogue between local and global struggles and alternatives. Facilitate links between regional forum processes. Identify tasks and questions on the concrete facilitation of the WSF process and the work of open contributory working groups to address these tasks. Disseminate knowledge about the WSF charter and process. Develop and promote the use of appropriate communication tools. For left. Define the date, place, and format of the WSF event. Monitor and contribute to the practical organization of the WSF events. Fund the IC activities and meetings. And the last one, monitor the financing of the WSF events. That's it for me.
Thank you so much, Carminda. In this moment, pass voice to Pierre. Pass voice to Pierre. Okay.
Hello. Yeah. I'm supposed to speak about the task of Casablanca. Okay, but I will. I mean, basically, I can. Because I was not prepared. I mean, I thought she was reading them, so I can.
Yeah.
No, but no. I am sending the link to you in the IC group, and I'm just going back to the link. Okay, so it's just a comment on what Carminda just read. So there is the idea of discussing the context in order to contextualize the effort to develop the process. It's the task of IC in the context of reaffirming WSF as an open space intercommunication process, which is described by the WSF Charter of Principles, is to develop and deepen and make better and make more attractive the WSF process worldwide. That's the main task, and it's a facilitating task. It's not a political leadership task, because the content of what is discussed in the WSF is discussed between the organizations that participate in it, and they freely get together to make coalitions, alliances, convergence as they want. So the idea is just to contextualize in which context the effort to develop WSF is happening. Then facilitate dialogue between local and global struggles and alternatives. This is a kind of being proposing that the participation in the forum focuses on trying to develop value alternatives or connect struggles. So this is invitation work to those who participate in WSF to say we use WSF to connect this and that. So we will make self-organized activities, or we will take initiative for this purpose and invite organizations to have this kind of goals. And not just make panels, for instance. So this has been a criticism expressed here. So the self-organized activities can be targeting goals that organizations want to have to connect struggles, to develop alternatives. So have these goals in the mind when you participate in WSF process. Facilitate linkage between regional forum processes. That's IC. IC is the group of organizations that they say, we think WSF is a good process and we have some energy to contribute to facilitate it. That's IC, ideally. So organizations that are in IC, it means that they agree with WSF being an open space, because this has been reaffirmed, and implicitly they say we have some energy as organization to help facilitate this process. Because you cannot just come here and say, no, I come here to make a meeting once in a while, but my organization cannot help anything. Whatever it is, it can be money, it can be people, it can be ideas, but what's your contribution? So in IC, since 2018, we have two different participations. We have the organizations and networks that are welcome in IC, along with some criteria, that is, agree with the principles, understand this is an open space, and the IC is here to facilitate. And so that's, as Carmina was saying in Tunis consensus, there is a willingness, and this is particularly relevant today, is a willingness to broaden the participation from Asia. Because so far in the IC, as it is now, there are two organizations that are from Asia. This is very weak. And so a big expectation from the outcomes of the good, well-conducted WSF here is to have more interest and more participation from groups, from networks from Asia. So the second way to come in the IC is being a facilitating committee of a social forum process. So that's how, for instance, Asia Pacific Social Forum Facilitating Committee has been included in IC in September 22. And the only active organization with not facilitating committee of a social forum is the Basum Vasumbata Kutumbata, which is a Finno-Indian South Asian group. Yeah, but it's the same thing. I mean, it's not different. So this is an organization, it's a network. And then you have Asia Pacific Social Forum, where you have 3 representatives. You have Bhutan from Thailand, you have Arjun Kaki, who is not here, from Nepal, and you have Meena Menon, who has, for personal reason, I think couldn't come, who is from India. So these are, at the moment, are one organization and one facilitating committee from Asia. It's very, very small. So the big elephant in the room is how many South Asian or Asian network or Asia-based social forum processes will want to come in IC, not to be a representative of their constituencies, but to contribute to facilitating WSF. Because this is what is binding us. We may have political differences, cultural differences, ideological, but we are together to say we want to develop this process together. So the membership here, when I come back to the task, facilitate linkages between regional forums. It's because these facilitating committees are present in the IC. So it's a good place to discuss, but it's not that IC is the boss of those committees, because it is affirmed also that facilitating committee of a social forum process are autonomous. So they are not to receive any orders from IC. They are coming to IC to contribute to facilitate WSF, and as a byproduct, they can discuss and they can. It's a good place to be contacted. So that's how I can understand the linkage. Then identify task issues about concretely facilitating WSF process and launch review work on open contributive groups addressing those issues. This is a vast, partly explored field. For me, in my understanding, this is the main point where there are so many things about websites, about methodology, about ways to communicate the participation narrative. Why and how participate in WSF? This is what can be understood as a participation narrative. And this, the IC has legitimacy to develop this narrative as a common narrative, despite our differences. So I give an example also. There is a website which is called join.wsforum.net, which has been developed for the virtual social forum in 2021. This website works. It has not received any money, but so how does the IC relate to the group, which is a little collective, very informal, where we have some people here. There is Rita, there is Jan, there is me. So we're trying to say this is a tool that could help WSF be understood as a continuous process and not a series of separated events. This is a methodology question, and it's also a practical question. But I just give this idea of groups that could be supported by IC in the task of developing the process. It's just an example. Also, what has been attempted in this forum for the final day and the square of statement is a format, it's a common format, as there is the march to start. We are all together in a march, and then we are all together in the square of statement. These are proposals, these are experiments, and this is part of that task of IC to imagine, discuss, and then organize. So this is the point. Spread knowledge on WSF charter and process. This is the basis. What is WSF, what it is not, how to participate in it. So there is an empowerment of people coming WSF, this is how to participate. What you try to make these activities according to your goals. It's not IC goals, it's the goals of the organization that participates. So try to have a conceptual clarity about what is WSF. And this is also something that we can discuss, and it's a very deep and rich discussion. We can also have some documents on how we understand this and that. Then develop use of appropriate communication tools. This is a very challenging point because WSF is a space. It's not a corporation, it's not an organization, there is no political leadership or management leadership. So the communication about WSF has to come from the IC as a general narrative, but has also to come from the participant organizations. Communication is part of participation. And how do we try to develop this ownership of communicating the forum between the participants? So this is a very interesting and challenging point. I finish. Define date and place and format of WSF event. That's the easiest thing because it's a punctual decision. Of course, now we will have to decide when is the next forum. Also, we can decide. We can have in IC discussion about the format of this forum. It's a dialogue with the local organizing committee. It's a dialogue, so it's not just the forum will take place here and the organizing committee is completely free to do whatever he wants. And then monitor and contribute practical organization of WSF event. That we have all the experience that in the building of the WSF event, some organization of the IC contribute early, some just come to the event and participate. There is a variety of level of involvement and energy given. So, for instance, in this forum, Jan came 1 month in advance, gave time. This is a contribution. Some organization can give money. This is also a contribution. Here we have Bread for the World, which has been a contributor to the budget of WSF 2024. And finance IC activities and meeting. That's another point. The IC process. IC, I mean, the process of meetings of this body and its commission is not free. It costs money. We have been in the recent years living with zero budget, and it's possible. We just make online meetings, and the contribution of Rosa has been tremendous. But I mean, okay, it needs energy, even if it's not money. It needs energy. So how do we manage this? And I think Rosa has been saying, hello, I am here and I'm not. So let's contribute to it, Rosa. So I think this is monitor financing of WSF. It's giving transparency on how the WSF events are financed.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's summary of what we discussed from 2013 until now on the IC to see how we work, how we can work, how we can go, because we are in a situation that, like Pierre said, needs more people, more organization member with some criteria. There is a criteria, it's not open to everybody, to any organization also. Like we in this forum, we didn't see the chart even in the website, because the chart of the WSF is really important to be it's when you do an inscription, you must click and read the chart of WSF. I think it's one of the tasks that we can discuss But now it's a little, we can open the discussion, maybe for the question, for the people who never been in the IC. If you have any question, marhaba.
Only one question for me.
Okay.
Only question.
Okay.
Only question for me, one added. What happened with assembly? Assembly, World Social Forum Assembly. ¿Ok? Lo voy a decir en español. Y Claudia me puede ayudar. O tú me puedes ayudar. Tú. Ok, perfecto. Después del encuentro en Túnez, en diciembre,
After the meeting in Tunis,
hemos tenido varias reuniones, las personas que nos anotamos, las organizaciones que nos anotamos para ser fundadoras de la Asamblea Social Mundial de Luchas y Resistencias del Foro Social Mundial.
after the meeting of Tunis, there is a people who propose to have this assembly met and discuss the procedures and the task of this assembly and the name of the assembly.
Hemos tenido muchas reuniones, ha sido lento el proceso, pero tenemos una carta de principios de la Asamblea.
After we met, we had a lot of meetings. We decided of the chart of this assembly, the criteria of this assembly, and the name of this assembly again is the Assembly of Resistance and Luchas.
Sí, luchas y resistencias.
Struggles of WSF.
A finales del año pasado y tuvimos reuniones globales con movimientos de todo el mundo.
After the Tunis meeting, we met a lot of time with a movement, global movement of all the world.
Y nos planteamos que para el Foro Social Mundial en Katmandú íbamos a traer una declaración política que íbamos a presentar para todas y todos.
One of the things of this assembly, we can do a political appeal. This is what the IC cannot do, a political appeal, and they decide to have it here in Katmandú.
Quiero pedir permiso para leer la declaración.
She said if she can read the declaration, is the permit to have it or no from the
Share it.
or maybe share it, maybe share it to all of you. Maybe.
Okay.
Share it. No, read it.
Read it. It's very small.
It's short.
It's short. Yes, it's short. I read in English. Okay.
I can read it.
For more. Yes.
The principles of this social assembly are of the assembly that we are set. Want to know principles for this specific autonomous process?
Entends pas.
Okay, you can say that. Just information before Rosa reads the declaration. Before Rosa reads the declaration of proposed by this assembly process, if you want to have an information about the principles of this assembly, because it's a process, it's an autonomous process, different from WSF process. Together, they are in the global WSF family. That's the Tunis consensus. So if you go to the website of Nepal, I have put the link. When you go to the organizations, there are 1,400 organizations registered in WSF Nepal. You look for struggles or resistance or luchas, and struggles is fine because there are not many organizations with struggles in the name. You will find the assembly, and if you go to the tab detail that is available for each organization, you will have the principles of this process in Spanish and in English. So it's just information.
Thank you. Okay. Build peace and use it now. Nobody can doubt any longer that the multiple crises have deepened worldwide. Superpowers and market-oriented international institutions, including the European Union, Russia, and the United States of America, NATO, the World Economic Forum, and others have driven the world into a spiral and increasing competition, hate speech, and sea of bloody wars, ethnic cleansing and genocide of Palestine, the threat of a nuclear war, economic and ecological disasters, and neocolonial injustice supported by increasingly authoritarian governments. The majority of the world population are in various ways suffering the consequence of this disasters policy. The cost of living crisis affect the majority of both rural and urban people across the world. Social and democratic rights are under attack. Violence against women and other vulnerable groups in society is increasingly. Inequality is rising to unprecedented levels. Food scarcity and family increase and society are turned to peace. Democracy is at risk of becoming an empty shell influenced due to lobbying in the interests of rich people and corporations, more the people in common and repression of human rights, including the freedom of expression, global warming, the loss of biological diversity, lack of water, and other environmental destructive processes affect us all. We commit resolves to work together in order to counteract the beautiful means the imperial and neocolonial ambition of superpowers, the global corporates, and authoritarian governments. Peace is not only the absence of wars built with nations, but also absence and repression of universally guaranteed human rights, including the freedom of speech, human dignity, indigenous people rights, freedom from racism and caste, the right to have your ethnic, sexual, and other identity accepted, and the right of all, including future generations, to a healthy environment. This consequence, of course, emanating from imperialism, capitalism, and extractivism, and hence we firmly denounce and oppose them. The depending intentions between state and power blocs propels and militarization of politics in nearly all fields. Independent voice and civil society have their space limited or are openly represented in all parts of the world. At the same time, we witness the rise of right-wing extremism, xenophobia, and racism in all parts of the world. What we need instead is peaceful coexistence, disarmament, and constructive solution for social and ecological concerns locally, nationally, and between nations. In order to change the direction of social and political development, we call for a worldwide mobilization of the civil society on all continents and all fields of action. We need a coherent, simultaneous struggles for urban and land reform, for right to the city, food sovereignty, and agroecology, of housing, energy, water, healthy food, education, and health care shall be provided for all. We need both resistance and the building of alternatives to bring about peace and justice. We need this in every rural community, municipality, and city of the world. For this is necessary to produce not only a unit on the conceptual level,
but also a convergence of as many social and ecological movements as possible. Around action in which clear priority for our strongest in the near future are defined. We encourage all inters to propose action towards peace and justice that are concrete action oriented and open to all social and ecological movements of the world. World Social Assembly of Struggles and Resistance of the World Social Forum, 18 February 2024, a World Social Forum in Katmandú, Nepal.
Thank you, Rosie. Thank you, Rosie. This is the statement of the assembly. It's the first statement. It's the first assembly of this new process in the family of the WSF. It was I have one there.
I think I have something, means after I have heard Peter, I think he is pronounced Pierre, but for example, we are trying to build a world which is different, means an alternative world. And at the same time, we are not building any system which is an alternative system to challenge that or to build that world or challenge the existing world. So how are we going to build that world without making any system? For example, when we are talking about economics, we talk about the debt trap. We talk about how neoliberal economy has captured the world, and it has, in fact, made poor even poorer, and it has increased the gap in between poor and rich. So when we see from 1880 to now, the poor has increased. The gap in between poor and rich has increased. But we are not talking about building any system to counter that. So while we are combined here, we are assembling here, we are here, and we talk about, we have made many sessions, many things. So why don't we build something? Why we don't discuss something? How we come out from here, maybe making a team, making a group, which can discuss about these things and come up with some idea which can be implemented even for a trial and error basis. And let's see what we can do. Number one thing. Second thing, as I see the word social forum as the forum of poor, I even in the discussion I have told that. And most important thing, what I feel is knowledge is power, and knowledge is not free. In fact, it has become very costly. And that's why, since you do not have knowledge, neither the knowledge to make instruments, neither the knowledge to have some scientific inventions, neither the knowledge of even doing agriculture. So these knowledge are not free nowadays. But I think we have people among us who are generous enough to share their knowledge with people so that it becomes accessible to anyone who wants to do that. And as you get that knowledge, I think the poverty can be fought out. And you can build something, what I talked about in the point number first, with that knowledge. So why not do that? Let's have, because on that time, Eric Tossett, I talked to him, sir, you are very fantastic. You have written very good book, The World Bank, but it is so costly that I cannot purchase it. 4,500 rupees. So how am I going to understand more about that? Because I had did my research on how Africa was made poor, how it was in fact made poor, how the neoliberalists have in fact destroyed their economy. But I need to know more. I need to do more research, and I need to learn more. And for that, I need knowledge someone who do that. So how, Miss, can you make it accessible? He said, okay, take my email, write me, and I will be doing that. So let's do it. when I will again repeat a statement. Let's have less talk and more action. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Leo.
Thomas, and after
Thomas? Thomas?
Because
Oh.
No, yeah. La compañera. Sí, la compañera persona. Pero bueno también. Okay.
Thank you. I'm Thomas Valkera from Finland, Vasula Kutumbakam. I want to make 2 points. One is just about the statement that was just read and the status of it, the Bill, Peace and Justice now from the Assembly. I'm proud and happy that I was very much part of drafting this statement, and I was there in the sessions, in the activity here. So it's nice, and it's a good experiment for us, for how we can create convergence between the movements. But I must also say that I feel a bit awkward that this statement is read here in the IC meeting, when we also had from this event in Katmandú, we had maybe 60 other statements. And I must confess, I was reading, for instance, a statement from the Feminist Forum. And I think the Feminist Forum statement was better than the one I was part of drafting. So it's not that this is bad and the feminist is perfect, but it's true, this is a new experiment, but I feel awkward if we think this statement has kind of a special status. As long as everybody understands that no one can speak for the WSF, there's no harm. But that's not always clear, not even perhaps among ourselves. So that's why I was hesitant that we read this statement and not 60 other statements, which may be better. I have in front of me the document that came out of this activity. It's a process. The statement that was read is the result of a process in preparation and a process during the past few days. And the process took so long that so far the statement has 4 signatures from 4 individual persons. It doesn't represent any organization. I have it in front of me, the original with the 4 signatures we have been able to collect so far. So I wanted to just express, I'm proud of the statement, but awkward that it's presented as something. No, it's not bigger than that. We have 4 names. No.
4 names, the statement.
Okay. Yes.
Only 4 names.
Yes, because we just finished it a few hours ago. So I just want to raise that question, but that is related to my second point. I just want to say as an observation that one thing our task as IC is to facilitate the World Social Forum process. The process is. I think one thing which would be helpful is if we could facilitate transparency about the IC itself. Because my impression is, and I have it from many years, from many observers and many participants, that one reason why people don't have full trust in the WSF is that the IC has contradictions, the IC has political power battles, the IC has funding, and this has not been transparent enough. So I suggest it would be good if we could have a process in the IC, how we can be more transparent about the workings of the IC itself. One example is the question of the members of the IC. In the Charter of Principles of WSF, we say that we are against neoliberalism. So that is fine. Now, we all have our problems, our contradictions, but I think to what extent should we invite and allow members of the IC who are in close cooperation with the main neoliberal agents, for instance, the World Bank? So, or if you're funded by northern governments. So I just want to, no, sorry, I'm finishing. I'm just saying, so I would invite, I think IC, in order to facilitate the World Social Forum, we should be transparent about our own contradictions, our own operations and finances.
Francesco? Okay.
Well, hello, good afternoon. I'm Claudia, I come from Mexico. And I want to continue what Shanky said. We are building the World Social Forum of Transformative Economics that is going to be held in Colombia this October. So we want to work together with you. And I think the proposal that you said, it's that space that we can construct, because we are making a lot of alternatives to the financial system and the capitalism since an economical point of view. So this is just a call for the IC meeting to come to Colombia to support this effort. And we want to be in touch with you. We are not part of the IC, but I think we can work together from here to Colombia. But we are thinking in a process beyond this event. So we actually are making session every month. The process is starting.
Just one point, really important, because I feel not guilty, because Thomas, let them respect us, because we invite nobody from the World Bank person. We are all members that coming from all over the world. Never invite any person of the World Bank in this meeting. First, secondly, the local committee who work on the WSF 2024, maybe they have a member of it, but it's not our problem because we don't know it. Because we came, and all the respect, I'll let you speak, because you insult us like a member, and you say the transparency and the IC, I don't see any bad governance of that, because we are all new on that. Maybe I'm the oldest one in that, 20, that I am in following this, like a younger one to the old one. Maybe the next generation are coming, but please never put everybody on the same market. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just asking you because you treat us, those people.
I can explain. No.
I am
Amuda. Thomas. It was not that what Thomas. He said. He was only saying that how will we manage if, as we are against neoliberalism, if there is a group who wants to become member of the IC, and at the same time they are funded by the World Bank. How, that was the question, isn't it, Thomas? Okay, I don't. Okay, if there's something hidden behind, I don't know. But for example, our organization is also funded from the German government, but the funds used to support since the beginning, and this is now maybe 10 or 20 million euros, was always funds we are getting from our donors, what we use always to support the World Social Forum. We are not using public money from our government. Therefore, we have three sources of funds. It's the German church, it's the donations, and it's the government. But we have always used, knowing that we don't want to be responsible for that what happened to the German government. We are responsible our own, and that's the way we are using funds. So we never use public funds for that. And I think others do the same, Oxfam and all the others who have always supported financially the World Social Forum to remain independent. And I think this is justified. And that's what Hamuda also makes angry if someone is saying that there are hidden funds from any organization we are normally fighting against. That I hope that this is now clear. But this was not that what I wanted to say. It is more a critical point because I didn't understand why Rosie was allowed to read one of the assembly's decision while we have 70 assemblies. No, and for me, it's this assembly is still the assembly of division. It's the outcome of a compromise I accepted from Tunisia, but those who are behind this assembly were those who wanted that the IC become a total different against the Carter goals structured organization. So they have fully right to have an assembly. They have fully right to have this declaration, but this is not the World Social Forum's declaration. And that's what we compromised. And that's the reason why we remain in the World Social Forum. We support this compromise, that this is so, and this is even a chance for the IC, for those members who are on both sides, that if they want a declaration, they can do it via this assembly. But it's nothing special. I can read also our assembly on right to food, for example, and others can do it. So we respect this, that this Tunis compromise what was a good compromise, and we can live with.
He raised the hand before me. You can give it to me. Yeah, no,
I did not. No, but I asked before Leo. Like I asked like long time ago. Okay, sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'd say I asked since I just before. Really?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, no, just to respond, please, because like to respond to our friend who did some comments, what we do, action, etc. You are in the wrong place. I'm sorry. Here it's like we do actions, huh? We do outside here, outside IC. Daily we are doing action in our organization, in networks that we have, in things. We are doing action all day. The people around the world are doing action daily. So here it's not about that. I think like a lot of people have misunderstood of what is the IC. The IC is facilitating a processus. And some of us are taking our time from our activist time to come here and speak about that. We are not going to find the solution here. The solution are already in the people and the struggles all around the world. So that's the point. So, for example, if you want to join something big, who take decision, who try to speak strategy, maybe you can join the assembly. But here we are not talking the assembly. We are not in the assembly. We are in the IC meeting. So we speak about facilitating. Okay. So that's the point. It's good. It's really good. What you say, in fact, I'm agree 100%. But it's not a good place here. That's what I want to say. That's why, because to start again and again the conversation, no? And the other thing, I think the question, like, it was really relevant here. I was not against the Rosie read the statement. I was not against, but we need maybe to think the assembly of struggles and resistance of the global processes of the World Social Forum. It is the only assembly, or can we create others assembly? That's a blank. Then we don't have the solution in Tunisia. For example, you talk about, I don't know, I don't remember who, Tommaso talk about the Women Declaration. Can we imagine an assembly of women of the global processes of the World Social Forum? That's a question. I don't know. I'm not coming here with a response, but I think that's the kind of thing that we can discuss here. Like, can we take it in the big family of the global process? Do we accept the creation of different assemblies? So that's the basics. And yeah, thank you very much to give me the floor before. Dhanyavad.
Not that word. It's not working. It's okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Well, because the issue of reading the statement here has become really very concerning. So I have another concern. And my concern comes from the square process of the square. Process of the square. Yeah, square of statements. I don't know why the square of statement, when World Social Forum has a recognized understanding that we do not make any statement, then how can we insist the organizations or create a process where people, have their statement? So that is my one question. But I just wondering that how do we, read between these two? Sorry, I've written a few things. Oh, yeah. Now, WSF is about 25 years. So I have a few questions that I'll read it. Because in 25 years, lots of new people have joined the World Social Forum process. And we don't know what is IC and how it was formed and expanded and made inclusive of major tendencies of movements and people's struggles. How it is done. Nobody knows. Nobody explains. So we need to, at this point of time, when we are completing 25 years, we need to really, have this clear understanding, and make it visible that this is the way if anybody wants to be part of the IC. For example, let me cite, the 60% population of the world lives in Asia. But why Asia is faintly represented in the IC? Hardly any Asians here. So, no, I'm not member. I'm not member. I'm not the member. I'm raising the issue. And if I'm member, I don't know how I became member. Okay, that is also true, because I still consider that, sorry. So that is the one. Then the second is, the IC has taken lots of decisions that Karminda read the statement from the Tunis. So my issue is that how does IC implement and execute its decision in an inclusive way, what it decides? So that is the second question that I would like to pose for the discussion. How it implements and executes a decision in an inclusive way. What are the identified regional social form the process so far has decided? I know the Asia Pacific Social Forum. Does World Social Forum also recognize other social forum regional processes? So, yeah. No, because I'm ignorant. That's why I'm raising these issues. So I begin with that. I am ignorant. 25 years ago, I participated in 2004 World Social Forum. So my memories has faded about the World Social Forum process. So I would like to know. So therefore, that I want that if there are other processes, then how these regional processes are associated with the governing mechanism or the decision-making mechanism of the World Social Forum, that is the IC. Thank you.
¿No estaba Leo? Bueno, yo solo mencionar algo, solo mencionar algo que acordamos en Túnez y como parte del proceso es que la asamblea es familia del proceso del Foro Social Mundial, pero es autónoma. Y a la vez no queremos ser pretenciosas o pretenciosos o pretencioses diciendo que las otras asambleas que se generan o las otras declaraciones no no valen, claro que valen, sino que nos vamos a sumar entre todas. Es un proceso en construcción. Please.
Yeah. The assembly of the resistance. It's a family of the process of WSF and the council and everything. We are not pretentious. Have a pretension to be the World Social Forum or something like that. Donc, I think it's just to be clear, it's the process. You just want to show that the discussion in Tunis gives something this assembly. And for that, maybe you cannot read the statement here. It was a mistake, maybe, but it's okay.
Process in development.
Yeah.
It's good that these questions from people outside the IC gives us the opportunity to clarify some of the things. For instance, with regard to, I don't know his name, I can assure you that there is a whole process of developing alternative economics since the first World Social Forum in Porto Alegre. It was especially the merit of the Brazilians, like Marcos Arruda de Pax, the Rio de Janeiro. There is a whole current which is basing the economy on cooperation and not on competition. And this has transcended even to countries of the North and is being discussed now in a very profound way and put into practice. You can find it in the internet. That's one thing. The other thing is, I don't want to bring up the discussion. I only want to repeat the facts about the assembly process. There was a long time of about 10 years where people inside the International Council and also outside the International Council wanted to have a voice which, as an assembly, as related to the World Social Forum, can pronounce itself, because the world, the organizations, especially the social movements, need a support on a global level where there is no instance which can help this. And that was a discussion which came so broad that in Tunis, thanks to our comrades from Maghreb, Mashrek, we found a compromise. And this compromise has to be maintained. And the curious thing is that the majority of the people in the assembly are from the IC. So what's the problem? It is we all have a head and can think, but we also have a mouth and can speak. Perhaps the World Social Forum has now both, and that puts us as a common body. For the others, I would support what Francisco said, that with regard to the financial questions, I think at least since I'm here, I have not seen that many funds from the World Bank and so on. And no, not at all. We are struggling. In the last two
it's really Bread for the World, who is our main source of financing, and that's to say, let's not start rumors about financing of some extra forces coming from I don't know which star outside.
Patricia, Ahmad. Yeah, I will give just a response to Dr. Leo. Give the response to the friend of India about the thing.
Okay. I think it was very good to start this session with repeating the consensus of Tunis and also to look at the tasks talked about in Casablanca. I also found it good that Rosie read the statement, because it was said in Tunis that it should be invited to an open work group for the assembly, and now we have got the report on that. So we know that's what we said in Tunis on this part has been established and done. And then I think we should not spend too much time here discussing this statement, but look at the rest of the Tunis consensus. And then there it comes to the point raised by our friend Ashum here, who, from India, who talked about the transparency and the IC expansion, because the other points from Tunis, they talk about this, they talk about the transparency, they talk about the expansion, they talk about these things. And in order to solve, or in order to work with these things, we need to relaunch or create the commissions we discussed, we said in Tunis, because it's through these commissions we can say, okay, how do we better the transparency? Okay, how do we say what it takes to come in or out of the IC? How does we map the different regional thematic forums? And how can we, as we said, that we should and these things. So in order to do this, we need to set up the commission. So I hope that we, before we leave here, have open invitation to join the different commissions. And then the commissions, I think, they should set their own, they should formulate a proposal for a mandate and task to say, okay, this commission, for instance, I would like to join the methodology commission. And then this commission, those who want to join this should come together and say, okay, as methodology commission or finance or any other commissions, we propose that our contribution to the process would be through doing this. And then we should bring this back to the IC, and the IC can say, okay, methodology commission says this, finance commission says this, and then we can adjust it. And if necessary, and when adjusted, we can say, okay, now you can go to work with the different commissions. And if we leave here without being able to do this, I think, or I hope we can do this, and it will be a big step forward in the work of the IC.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Who?
What?
Thank you. Just to give a feminine voice a little bit, because I think we had maybe 5 men speaking. So I was not in Tunis. I have just been with the IC for maybe less than 1 year. So I tried to follow, I represent ATTAC, one of the members of ATTAC with Jan, and now with Shema. And I must say that for me, it was very hard to understand how it was working, and I had quite a lot of explanation from the consensus of Tunis and from Jan, and well, so I finished, and I have quite a lot of experience for international meetings, declarations, and all this in maybe more in the neoliberal world. So, well, it's not something new for me, all the issues we have of discussion. But what I see is that we have so it's very important for me, the issue of transparency, clarity of criteria to become a member of IC. It seems to me something very important since we want to broaden the members of IC. And in fact, why? Because we have, as our young colleagues from Quebec said yesterday, we are in an urgent situation. So we must be, how could I say, active in a way that we have to go all together and trying to take decisions. So how do we take the decision in the IC? It has to be clear for everybody, of course. And I think this is a big thing of today. And then the issue of finance. I have the chance to be member of an organization, ATTAC, which is founded by its members only through a membership or donation from the activists. So we are very independent from all this issue of who is financing, which is a big chance and which is very important, I think, for a social movement and being a free voice. But I think this is an important thing we will have to discuss and to decide. Well, I don't know if we are going to decide and how we are going to decide. Maybe we should as well be clear on this tonight, because if I know we are not on online and on hybrid side now, not yet. Okay, well, so just to give you a new voice in one way in the IC, and just to tell that yes, this is the same as in our discussion are very close from any discussion in an international context and with powers issue. And men.
10 minutes. So there is a lunch. Dinner. We have
Aman?
Afterthought.
Yeah, thank you. I think I would like to make 2-3 concerns. First of all, the confusion and unclarity about many of the reference documents, process, except this charter of principle. So nothing to me is accessible on the web. So first of all, we can go back, but as a suggestion to look forward, I'm proposing to IC. My name is Amanur Rahman. I'm from Bangladesh and part of the Asia Pacific Social Forum process, and also representing a national network called Democratic Budget Movement. Yeah, 2011. In 2011, when there was the South Asia Social Forum, there was I think the previous IC held in Asia. So it was a good opportunity to meet some of you over there. So the first proposition is that I think the IC should come up with a mechanism to get access to the even major reference documents that we talked about. At least some kind of online or whatever. And plus, as Ashok was mentioning, that many new people are coming. It is not necessarily that they will automatically understand. So some kind of tutorial, audio, visual, or whatever on the policy documents of WSU should be explanatory kind of way, because some of you already did that, and I recorded that. That is very useful. So I think so access to those kind of policy and reference documents is useful, plus some explanatory kind of tutorial documents. Second proposition, I do not know, as I came here as an observer. Whether I could propose or not, I do not know. So the criteria of participation in the IC. I have been following Social Forum last 20 years, and also organized or supported in the voluntary group in couple of even more than that. So the criteria of participation, I think I would suggest to revisit, to make it inclusive and representation of the grassroots and geographical entities. So only when if I came from a national entity or regional entity, you are challenging that. But whether that representation comes from the grassroots group or not, that is also important. Plus, if any national or regional force can influence the global forces, why not their representation is welcoming? There is no national, maybe few for different reasons, but I strongly recommend that if any agency, because somehow whoever is the national or even local, if they are connected with the regional global groups like you and can influence the revoke of the social forum 2024, do you think that their contribution will be useful to make this thing happen? So this is another concern and question to you. And another thing is that the third point, the endorsement. Obviously, there is no hierarchy, we know. But I personally was in a volunteer of organizing this extension, WSF extended group, at least 6. The last one we held during the extension was held during the Canada or Montreal Social Forum. Despite being involved with the social forum process for last 20 years, I do not know whom to approach that, or even should we approach that. We did lots of events, even the young people even came to the state, lots of online events, but discussions and beyond that happened. But I do not know whether the IC, do you know that this social forum extended from held in some other parts of the country, of the world? So some kind of, communication channel need to be there. I'm stopping here. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna. Third is the last year, and we finish this part, and we will tell you about the agenda of after this. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have to recognize that we are trying to do something impossible. It's not only that we try to be facilitating a process where we bring up all issues. We are trying to do it at the world level. It's already more impossible to organize in a specific theme. Let that be for the rural rights or environmental peace. But bringing them all together, that is an impossible task. I think this meeting has shown that it is fantastic, inclusive, as an empirical experience. The whole thing that we had group discussions, for instance. I have no much experience, but in the few IC meetings I've been taking part of, there was no group discussion in that way. And especially, it was impossible to understand because all the time, people took the advantage to go outside of the agenda and start to discuss believing that the IC should be a place for taking political decisions. And that is no wonder they wanted, because in the final end, even a facilitating group is in the need of the results. But to implement these kind of ideas turned out after, I've been reported and I've seen it myself, many bigger movements avoid World Social Forum because they think this factions has been too much. There has been too much split. And now we finally are on the way to bring something new, thanks to Nepal and thanks to the Tunis decision. As far as I understood, it was very clear when Carminda spoke that the agenda right now this evening was the Tunis, where it was included the idea trying to start to solve the problem by having a permanent assembly. And of course, if others want to build other permanent assemblies, that is of course also fully possible. So I saw it as relevant
that Rosie made a statement, because as Thomas made it very clear, it's precarious. If you think it's hard to make a word social forum, try to make a word assembly of struggles and resistance. But believe me, those people who have committed themselves trying to fulfill the Tunis are really been doing a lot of work for the World Social Forum itself. Rosie, I've been trying to do it. Leo have been trying to work for getting cheaper tickets here. So it's not that we are trying to build something competing with the World Social Forum, it's to complement. Finally, I think that the big problem is then, with other words, that we have to be more bureaucratic. It is utterly important that there is space at the IC meetings for these commissions that do all these volunteer works, whether that is for translation or whether the fantastic work done by Rosie, Ian, Pierre, etc. We need sort of a more efficient way where these commissions can feel that they have the space to report. So that's the way I think this is a step forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
I am sorry, but I'm speaking French because the discussion is very important and speak very many, very comprehensive. I must speak in French.
Est-ce que tu vas tout dire d'un coup ou est-ce que tu vas t'arrêter de temps en temps?
Yeah. There are 4 points. 1 point.
1 point.
Well, for me, the IC of Katmandú, not the IC where we come back, Tunis or Casablanca. It's Katmandú for the future. Pour moi, aujourd'hui, Katmandou, c'est pour faire le futur, c'est pas pour revenir sur Tunis ou Casablanca. Parce que si c'est ça, on n'avance jamais. Donc, il va bien falloir à un moment donné acter ce qui s'est dit et avancer. Ça, c'est le premier point. Le deuxième point, pour moi, en tout cas pour mon organisation, je suis mandaté ici au CI pour évoquer l'élargissement. Parce que si nous n'élargissons pas le CI, on va se retrouver dans une situation très difficile. Pourquoi difficile? Parce que les tâches qui nous incombent, au regard du contexte politique dans lequel nous sommes, international, sont immenses. Et nous n'avons pas assez de bras et nous n'avons pas assez de moyens. Donc, si on veut que ce IC soit à la hauteur des prétentions qui sont les nôtres, il nous faut absolument non seulement élargir, mais nous donner les moyens. Les moyens, c'est à la fois humain, pour remplir effectivement les commissions, les groupes de travail, l'ensemble des tâches qui sont les nôtres, et nous doter d'un secrétariat qui puisse faire vraiment son travail. Alors, pour faire son travail, que ce soit pour le IC, que ce soit pour le secrétariat, il nous faut des moyens financiers. Nous ne sommes plus en l'an 2000. Nous ne sommes plus non plus en l'an 2010. Nous sommes en 2024. À la fois changement politique, mais aussi changement de comportement de tous ceux qui, avant, soutenaient financièrement le FSM à travers IC. Et ça, je remercie, moi, les camarades, effectivement, du Népal et d'Asie, de nous redonner un souffle. Mais ce souffle n'est pas venu du fait de leur seul travail, c'est de l'ensemble de tous ceux et celles qui ont participé à ce Forum social mondial. Et si on veut que ce soit une réussite dans 2 ans, au Bénin, comme je le souhaite, en Afrique, il nous faut travailler dans ce sens-là. On ne peut pas laisser simplement les camarades africains dire maintenant c'est votre truc, allez-y. Non, c'est nous. Ça doit être un forum social mondial, pas un forum social africain. Et donc, à partir de là, il y a un énorme travail à faire. Donc, première question, l'élargissement. Répondre aux tâches qui sont les nôtres. Deuxièmement, trouver les moyens humains et financiers pour être à la hauteur de ces objectifs. Merci.
So yeah, I'm going to translate like I can because it speaks really, really fast. So sorry. just it seemed like for him, like one of the first important points, it's a enlargement, yeah, like to bring more sponges. Expansion, yeah. So to bring more people in the IC, of course, you tell about ASEAN organization, African organization where we have a lack here, because all the work that we have, it's really big. It's really big, and we need to give to us some. We need human capacity. We need human capacity, and we need financement. So yeah, so that's the point. No, we need for response to the task that we have. We need human people. We need people, and we need money. So that's for him too really important. And like he say, like if we want on the next World Social Forum, we hope is going to be in Benin, in Africa. We need to work in this expectative.
Thank you.
Qui? Arminda.
Thank you. So I also agree with Ule said that we need to get to work, really. And we need to maybe try to get to work even tonight. And we have a proposal is to pass a paper in which people who would like to get into the commissions and start working just in a few weeks, because we need some rest, but start working, put your name, and let's start working. Because we can talk about starting the commissions. We can talk about start working, but let's do it, So a paper, we're going to pass it. First thing. The other thing, and I would like to be involved in the methodological commission. So let's talk and act, And the other thing is that we were talking about transparency. I think that what can be useful in that sense, because it's true that it's difficult to find the document to know how we get into the IC. It's difficult to find the document of the consensus of Tunis. It's true that when you're from outside of the IC, it's difficult to find answers to the questions. So a website is totally necessary. And okay, so maybe we can hear about that, but we need a concrete site, and it has been since 2013 that we're saying the site is coming, and so hopefully it will be coming soon. And that also I think we can contribute concretely, maybe from the Quebecois dynamics. What I would like to say also is that I believe that we really need to work in renewing our political culture. And because the fact is that when we allow ourselves to scream, to point, we need to be working with and dealing with more care, with more feminist principles, to be able and to change like the way we are also working, in the sense that we encourage the word of people who are not speaking, because we are always the same, and I include myself, speaking again and taking the word. And so the people who are not speaking, it's not because they don't have anything in their heads, but it's because maybe they don't find the moment. So I really think we need to rethink our methodological ways of working, and of working in the IC, also in the IC meetings, and the way which we pass the word. So Jan, thank you, because you're saying, okay, word to women, or what to pay, maybe people for other diversities. That would be really important in my sense. So a renewal, not only of the WSF, but our political culture that is not based on aggressivity, because we know we're fighting for the same things. We have the same goals. So let's collaborate together. So yes, I have other things to say. I will tell them after the pause. Thank you.
Okay, I thought there was a little bit of a confusion about the issue raised. That's why I'm adding a little bit more to that by sharing. Okay, by sharing that and trying to rephrase the statement about what is the stand of the IC or the protocol. And this is not a political thing, but I think it is deeply part of the process that everybody needs to be clear, because the answer of how clear and or how open we are about this answer really matters to who becomes part of the process. And that's why I'm saying that if an institution is part of the endorsement of the new liberal policies, such as carbon trading, which is marketing, which is creating crisis as commercial products, and is part of the process, then that really matters. That really makes a difference into who becomes part of the rest of the process, who comes in and who doesn't. So the answer to this, if an institution is part of such an exercise and is also part of like facilitating team members of the secretariat, so forth, then what is the stand of the IC, or what does the protocol say about such a situation? Because that has created an impact in what has become of WSF 2024. And I think it is very important, because if we want to build up to that, a lot of them did not even make it to the process or were sufficiently present. But I think they are as much part of the WSF as people who just became more involved. I think that's why this is an important question to be asked, and that's why it is part of transparency, part of the financial clarity, and so forth. That's why I want to rephrase it.
Ian, 1 minute. Yeah, just 1 minute. 2 minutes. Okay. No, just 1 minute, really quick. No, just for resume to everything then we say. Maybe we are going to respond you tomorrow, because I think it's in the program, Amuda, tomorrow, about IC members, etc. No? Okay. So after, I think like everybody, a lot of friends say it, we are not talking about, we talk about the elephant in the room, no? That's, we are here with a lot of speeches and everything. We need that. Yes, we know. We say all time, no? We know all the things that we need to do. But after, everybody become ghost after the IC, no? And we have 2, 3, 5 people trying to work on that in middle of all the things that we do in our countries and in our locality, because we are activists like also, and we work. So that's the problem. IC don't have money. We have zero money. We are working with zero money. So all that we do is volunteer work. So please, you are right. We are a lack of transparency. We are a lack of communication. We have a lack of lot of things. And the call of Carminda was come, join, and work with us. And we are going to do it together. Because if they have the money, we have the people. Okay, so that's pretty much all. Bravo, yeah.
Okay, this is going to be several points, but first answering Ashok. Ashok. So I'm saying square of statement is an implementation proposal for Principle 7 of WSF Charter that I'm reading now. Nonetheless, organizations of group of organizations that participate in the forum meetings must be assured the right during such meeting to deliberate on declarations or actions they may decide on, whether singly or in coordination with other participants. The facilitation of World Social Forum undertakes to circulate such decisions widely, by the means at its disposal, without directing, hierarchizing, censuring, or restricting them, but as deliberation decisions of the organization, of group of organization that made the decision. So that's, I think, it's the spirit of the Square of Statements. The second point about membership, we will discuss that, but again, as I said in the beginning, the membership, there are two ways, either as an organization, network, and I understand there is a certain international dimension that is required, and that's the majority of members of the IC are organizations and networks. Then the other way is as a facilitating committee of a social forum process of national, thematic, regional scale. So this is be short to answer you. About the commission, I think it's good that what Ole proposed, and there will be a discussion to try to find mandate and scope and task of commission, and then there will be a reshuffling and sharing of the comeback, and we'll have also this discussion on the global IC process, because each commission will define its area. There will be overlaps, there will be content. So we will also the role of the secretariat. So there is this discussion to come. I think it will come better after the commission have made this work. About the decision, I think you or somebody else or Aman raised the point of decisions in the IC. When we reaffirm WSF as open space and IC role as a facilitating body, then we keep the decision protocol that have been used during 20 years, which is the consensus decision on things that are related to facilitation of the process, not on if the earth is flat. No, this is not our business. This is the business of the organizations. So this consensus decision is the protocol for decision. About a kind of view of WSF, and here I share things that I have proposed. It's not the IC, but if you go in the activity 248 of, I will share the link of WSF 2024, there is a workshop with ideas on what is WSF, how to implement WSF, what's the get inspiration. So it's public information and just for debate and sharing. Yeah. Okay. I stop. Okay,
thank you. Just to finish, thank you for all. Now we must go to the dinner. We have a problem because we go from 6:30 to 7 to 7, so 30 minutes more. And for the agenda, because I think all the people are tired, and we propose to do for the next meeting a review of the day to the people who will be in hybrid. The calendar 24, 26, announcements and events and the process, the global process of WSF process. The next WSF event and presentation and administrative criteria of expression and interest from observer organization to join the IC. This is to explain to the people how to be. Maybe we can give it to tomorrow, but but tomorrow maybe people not be here because a lot of people are tired. A lot of people are leaving tomorrow. What we can suggest maybe to discuss it today and let I don't know, but we must take a decision because it's difficult to have 2 hours more tonight until 9 and continuing tomorrow. A lot of people are leaving, like I said. Maybe our Nepalese friends and movement don't come tomorrow because if we are tired, they are more tired than us. Donc, I think we must reflect to that and tell it in 30 minutes after eating. Discuss it on the discussion with dinner and take a decision. Last not least,
Amuda, Rita is the next. Okay.
We just finished the concept of the International Council website, not WSF website. All the documents are become loaded. We still have some help. Need some help. And this is what we can discuss later to give some feedback to all this. I'm very tired also, and welcome. And what I said, just 1 minute. What happened to your? Doesn't work. Okay. And this is the architecture of this website. It will be like this. And we have articles and things like that it goes. And what is it?
When we start tomorrow's meeting.
This is what we'll discuss in the dinner. Okay? As usual.
About the website, the same question as usual is, do IC member have an access to edit? Okay.
It's dynamic.
Thank you very much. Now it is time to eat. Food for thought. So please join.
We have the next section will be hybrid section. Them who are waiting to take part that are not here, that are internet. We will start this in half an hour. Yeah. We have to take dinner in half an hour. It will be here because there are other people waiting for this next section. Okay.
Okay. Okay, bueno. Sorry, one moment. So sorry. Queridas, bueno, y querides, vamos a cenar media hora. Voy a cerrar aquí todo por ahora. Bueno, no voy a cerrar la sala porque es la misma sala. Pero sí voy a hacer